Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church in Naperville, Illinois. I am Katie Hay, a member on your Board of Trustees. We are so glad you are here, whether you are here in the sanctuary this morning or watching remotely. It is so good to be together. We welcome you to our church and invite you to get to know us better after the service. To keep us all as safe as possible, we ask that you remain masked. Those of us on the chancel will remove our masks to speak from the microphone. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold that there are many paths to truth and meaning, and we support one another on our spiritual and religious journeys, while holding ourselves in covenant. The rich liberal legacy of the Unitarian Universalism is rooted in our faith's 7 principles. These principles guide our faithful actions as we work to transform the world to be more just and equitable. You may find these principles listed on our website or on the wall in our social hall. Whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, wherever you are in the world, you are welcome here. And one announcement, you are invited to take a tag or two off of the holiday tree as you leave the sanctuary. Non-perishable food items are noted on the tags. If you are bringing items from your own cupboards, please check the expiration dates. Place your items under the tree by December 18th, and the do-gooders will deliver the food to a local pantry for those in need. And Neil Lichtman has one additional announcement.
Thank you, Katie. Good morning. I'm Neil Lichtman from your Denominational Affairs team. For those of you who heard me last week and or the week before, this is a slightly amended version of those announcements. First, it's important to say that with Reverend Mandy here, it's a new day for denominational affairs in our congregation. To start, Reverend Mandy wants our delegates to General Assembly to be deeply prepared to vote the will of this congregation on all known issues as we come into General Assembly this coming June. In order for our delegates to be prepared, we need input from the entire congregation on some of the changes and decisions that will be made at this coming GA. You may already know there is an important meeting here next Sunday, December 11th, from noon to conclusion, to which we are inviting you. By the way, since we do not know how many will attend, we cannot actually make preparations for lunch, and I believe it's going to be in here, which is very important for a lot that's going to be presented visually. So I encourage you to bring a sandwich and something to drink between 11:30 and noon. So you have done that before we start. This is our first step with Reverend Mandy's vision. The subject is to review the work of the UUA Article II Study Commission and submit the recommendations of this congregation to the UUA, as all UU congregations can do. I suspect by now, after 2 announcements, most of you know what the UUA bylaws are about. For the few of you who may not know, and I at one point certainly embarrassingly did not know, when it was made clear to me, but the question was, where would you find our official 7 principles and our sources codified? Right, they comprise Article 2 of the UUA bylaws and rules. The current Article 2, in other words, our 7 principles and sources, has been reviewed by a special study commission which has absorbed the thinking of a multitude of UUA stakeholders in the past year. And a new Article 2 has been drafted. Now, that draft has been circulated to all UUA stakeholders, and that includes us. Now is the time for congregations to discuss the new draft and forward our thoughts to the UUA. Each of you is invited to join Reverend Mandy and me on a guided discussion next Sunday. As we move closer to General Assembly next year, there will be even more opportunities to engage, but let's start with the one next Sunday. Reverend Mandy and I hope to see you here. Now, I invite you to turn to someone you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning greeting. If you are online, we invite you to greet each other through the chat.
I light this chalice for the first source of our living tradition that draws from direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder, affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life.
Good morning. The 4 candles of this wreath, counting down through the season of winter's darkness, leading us into the light. Advent is a time of waiting, of cultivating patience. This season asks us to hold faith that all that we are becoming is still awakening under the surface of our lives. We light our first candle for hope.
On this second Sunday of Advent, we light the candle of peace with the words of Pema Chodron, a Buddhist nun. If we want there to be peace in the world, we have to be brave enough to soften what is rigid in our hearts, to find the soft spots and stay with it. We have to have that kind of courage and take that kind of responsibility. That is the true patience of peace. May this time of waiting inspire our courage. May we find this soft spot in the pressures of this season and stay with it as we discern our way forward. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be at ease and discover the true patience of peace within us, so that there will be peace in the world.
Good morning. Do you feel it? Just below the surface. Is it the dark nights, the holiday lights, the coming presents? Or is it something more? The wonder of the season unfolding into mystery, opening our hearts to encountering the divine joy of being together and celebrating the love we find in each other. I invite you to open yourself to something new, to an encounter with each other and something quite unnameable. Come, let us worship together. Please join me in body and spirit, rising if you are able, to sing hymn number 224, Let Christmas Come.
And join me in saying our covenant. We come together to affirm our relationship with one another, our shared commitment to our Unitarian Universalist principles, and to our DuPage UU Church community. We recognize our agency and our connective power, and we accept our responsibility to be bold and courageous in relationship with each other, so that we might transform ourselves and the world.
Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships that we have with each other, our world, and creation. Each week, we share our joys and concerns with each other, and this week, I only have one joy from Carolyn Atkins. It is Jean Atkins' 86th birthday. Happy birthday, Jean! Whether our cares are spoken or unspoken, we are here for you. While we share each week our joys and concerns from the pulpit, we also share them on Facebook, and we have a private Facebook page called DuPage UU Church Joys and Concerns. And if you would like to become a member for that, please reach out to me or any of the pastoral ministry associates. It's a great place to also learn and care for each other. Please join me in a moment of prayer. O deep mystery of our lives, voice in our hearts and light in our minds. In the joyful freedom of our fellowship, we are here together as adventurers, called forth in spirit. People moving, yearning, questing, pushing the limits of our lives outwards to what is more loving and just, more beautiful and true. Here in this meeting place, this place made holy by the memories, the aspirations, the purposes, and ideals of those before us, we would be inspired by their example. These were people of vision. These were people of spirit. We here today are also people of spirit. We too are struck in awe before the mighty mystery of the cosmos. We too are powerfully moved by a deep concern for our world and our care for one another. The Spirit moves also in us as a free religious community joined in a common covenant of aspiration, commitment, and hope. May ours be a faith that is more than just beautiful words and high ideals. May ours be a faith of vitality and commitment, a faith that burns in our hearts and blazes in our minds. May ours be a faith that shines to the world as the light of deeds and the witness of actions. O source and spirit of our lives, may we respond boldly to your call to adventure, for justice, for love, and for joy. Amen.
It is time to gather. Today, I have a story that is kind of ambiguous because it has a lot of questions, but not very many answers. But we will learn that it's okay to not know all the answers. The story is I Wonder by Annika Harris, and it is illustrated by John Rowe. Eva loves to look for the moon. It follows her from place to place, disappearing behind trees and mountains, and then appears again someplace new. Look, Mama, there it is. The moon looks so beautiful in the sky. How do you think it follows us, Eva? Eva thought about it, but she just can't figure it out. It's okay to say, I don't know, says her mother. When we don't know something, we get to wonder about it. I wonder if the moon and the earth are friends, says Eva. And her mother smiles. I like that idea. But Mama, how does the moon really stay close to us? Well, there is an invisible force called gravity that pulls all the things in the universe together, Eva's mother explains. And gravity keeps the moon close to Earth, and it keeps the planets close to the sun, too. And they circle around like this. Eva understands this a little better, but then she starts to wonder, Mama, where does gravity come from? I don't know, Eva. Nobody really knows for sure. And when no one knows the answer to something, it's called a mystery. A mystery is something for everyone to wonder about together. How fun Eva imagines herself wondering about gravity together with all the people in the world. Eva watches the moon disappear behind the clouds as she walks, excited to see where it will appear next. How many grains of sand are there in the whole world, Mama? I wonder about that too. There are trillions and trillions of grains of sand, but nobody knows exactly how many. And Eva tries to think about all the sand in the whole world. It feels so big that I can't fit it all in my imagination. It makes me feel dizzy, like I'm falling. I know what you mean, her mother agrees, and I'm sure other people feel the same way too. Eva walks down another path, looking for the moon, and a little orange butterfly appears. And then she notices there are butterflies everywhere. Mama, where did all these butterflies come from? These butterflies have been flying around for a few days, but they started out as little caterpillars, and those caterpillars came from eggs, and those eggs came from other butterflies. And there are cycles all around us, with one thing ending and another beginning. Things are always changing. Can you think of other things that change? Clouds and frogs and me. Later, Eva wonders, Mama, what was here before all the butterflies and frogs and clouds, before everything? I don't know, answers her mother. It's another mystery. I like to try to imagine what there was here before the beginning of everything. What do you think was here? And Eva says, smiling, I don't know. She thinks about it for a long time, and then she has an idea. I wonder if there were feelings. And as she walks home, Eva sees the moon again, glowing brightly above the roof of her house. Let's go inside and look for the moon through the window. We live with big mysteries. And when we come upon one, we're given a little gift. Every mystery is something for all of us to wonder about together. What do you wonder about? I wonder what your favorite part of the story was. I wonder if you can see yourself somewhere in this story. I wonder if you have any big mysteries. Let's sing to the children. Giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we are given by this community. Your contribution supports the programs and operations of DuPage UU Church. Giving is also how we live our values in the world. Each month, we share our offerings with an organization nominated by the congregation and selected by the special offering team. The special offering for December will benefit the UUA Disaster Relief Fund. Disasters impact our congregations and their communities with increasing rapidity. From natural disasters like wildfires that scorch everything in their path and hurricanes that bring destruction through winds and water, to human-caused disasters like our collapsing infrastructure that we've seen in Flint, Michigan. Our congregations, our people, and our communities sustain the impact. Your donation to the UUA Disaster Relief Fund allows the UUA to respond flexibly on your behalf to tragedies that overtake us. The offering is given and received in a spirit of generosity and gratitude.
Navidad es Navidad, toda la tierra se alegra y se entristece la mar. Marinero, ¿a dónde vas? Deja tus redes y reza. Mira la estrella pasar. Marinero, marinero, haz en tu barca un altar. Marinero, marinero, porque llegó Navidad. Marinero, marinero, haz en tu barca un altar. Marinero, marinero, porque llegó Navidad. Noches blancas de hospital, deja del llanto esta noche, que el niño está por llegar. Caminante sin hogar, ven a mi casa esta noche, que mañana Dios dirá. Caminante, caminante, deja tu forja llegar. Caminante, caminante, porque llegó Navidad. Caminante, caminante, deja tu alforja llenar. Caminante, caminante, porque llegó Navidad. Ven soldado, vuelve ya, para curar tus heridas, para prestarte la paz. Navidad es Navidad, toda la tierra se alegra y se entristece la mar. Caminante, caminante, deja tu alforja llenar. Caminante, caminante, porque llegó Navidad. Caminante, caminante, deja tu alforja llenar. Caminante, caminante, porque llegó Navidad.
I have a reading by Gordon B. McKeeman. How does one address a mystery? Cautiously. Let us go cautiously. Then, to the end of our certainty, to the boundary of all we know, to the rim of uncertainty, to the perimeter of the unknown which surrounds us. Reverently, let us go with a sense of awe, a feeling of approaching the powerful Holy, whose lightning slashes the sky, whose persistence splits the concrete with green sprouts, whose miracles are present in every place and moment. Hopefully, out of our need for the wholeness in our lives, the reconciliation of mind and heart, the conjunction of reason and passion, the intersection of the timeless with time. Quietly, for no words will explain the inarticulate or summon the presence that is always present, even in our absence. But what shall I say? Anything, any anger, any hope, any fear, any joy, any request, any word that comes from the depth of being addressed to being itself. Or perhaps nothing. No complaint, no request, no entreaty, no thanksgiving, no praise, no blame, no pretense of knowing or of not knowing. Simply be the intimate present of mystery, unashamed, unadorned, unafraid. And at the end, say amen. Please stand in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 225, O Come, Emmanuel.
I love the Advent season, the waiting, the anticipation. I think it's better than Christmas itself, honestly. Whether we believe in the birth of a Savior, the birth of Jesus, or are just waiting for a day off of work, a holiday break, a chance to be with family and friends, many of us are waiting and anticipating something. Maybe it's simply the darkest night that is honoring the solstice and waiting for dawn to break the next morning when our days will be a bit longer. Or maybe it's waiting for the new year, a new chance to begin again. If you have children in your life, and we all do, because all the children here are in our lives, their anticipation during this season of waiting is often contagious. And it isn't just all about the presents. I remember as a child how the holiday break meant more time with cousins and friends. I remember feeling the wonder of dark evenings, the holiday lights, the carols. In my childhood, the 6 p.m. Sunday services, yes, I went to church twice on Sunday, the 6 p.m. services were my favorite. Not because of the sermons or messaging, because those services had a sense of mystery and awe to them. You could palpably feel the difference in those services. You'd arrive out of the dark Michigan cold and winter to a warm church filled with Christmas lights and candles. The Advent wreath was lit, and there was always a hush of expectancy. We all knew what we were waiting for. It was no big surprise, Christmas Day and the birth of Jesus. But on those nights, the unexpected, the impossible seemed possible. The anticipation was thrilling, maybe even exhilarating. The funny thing about Advent, the waiting season, is we always know what's coming. And yet, it always comes new and fresh every single year. Now, when I speak to adults about Advent, there always seems to be a touch of exhaustion. Nod your head if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's not to say we don't enjoy our children's enthusiasm, but there's always a lot of work that goes into this season. Our family traditionally makes reindeer food and sprinkles it out. We have masa empanadas. We come for the Christmas Eve service. And then our kids, at least when they were little, would camp out in the living room hoping to catch Santa. It was fun, and it was a lot of work. I don't know when it happened. It was probably in my early teens if I had to take a guess. But at some point, the wonder of the holidays that I wrote of in my newsletter column this month disappeared. I wanted to do all of the traditions, but they didn't feel the same. Sometimes I even attempted to replicate the situations that felt so magical as a child, like sitting in a dark living room watching the lights twinkle, or a late night walk on a snowy, cold evening. But it never really was the same. There was a loss of innocence, the creeping in of skepticism and cynicism. Innocence is often described in terms of loss and related to maturity, sometimes described as losing our moral purity. We lose our innocence sometimes through an event that takes something away from us, or we lose it as we gain understanding of the bad things in this world, or as we grow up. That is likely the innocence that I lost, that likely most of you lost as you grew from child into adulthood. And it acutely makes the holidays less wonderful and maybe more tedious. Writing on the connection between beauty and the divine, the theologian Alejandro Garcia Rivera writes in his book, Theology of Art, about another kind of innocence. This type of innocence, he writes, is capable of exciting wonder in us. It can be recognized as something beautiful and particularly rare and wonderful. It is innocence seen as a virtue, innocence as something to be achieved. Such innocence is a radical openness to being more, to seeing more. Garcia Rivera argues that we are always capable of reclaiming our innocence by embracing openness. This is an openness of wonder, of facing what comes with curiosity. As an adult, this is a practice that I have to do, to cultivate my wonder again. You see, sometimes I let the cares and worries of the moment overshadow the mystery of the moment. And when I let that happen, I know that I've lost a connection with a part of myself that connects me to each other and to creation. That mystery allows me to regain a sense of innocence, to have wonder and awe at the connection that I find around us all. When I open myself to the dark nights and the holiday lights and the warm fires, it's the perfect time to cultivate a path of mystery. And in this path, we find the unexpected, conversations that deepen connection, wonder at the dark nights and cold air in a season of rest and renewal, and delight in the laughter and excitement of children. And we have the opportunity to find the most unexpected thing that adults can possibly find: joy. Walking the path of mystery allows us to open ourselves to the unknown, to let go of some of our care, and to sink into the moments that our children eagerly anticipate. Joy is a sense of delight, a part of reclaiming this innocence, a moment when we become, just for a moment, carefree. Advent is a season that lets us regain our innocence, our openness to wonder in the mystery of the moment, in the traditions and rituals we foster, and in the excitement of our children. That innocence allows us to embrace the possibility of joy. In this Advent season, I invite you to wait for joy, and when it comes upon you, may you wonder in it. May it be a moment of full abandonment. It may simply be the delight in a child's laughter, a long walk in the woods, or the most perfect gift given by someone you love or to someone you love. In this season, I invite you to open yourself up to the path of mystery that you might find joy, regaining your childlike innocence. It is possible, of course, that you may not find it at all. This season can be difficult and hard for many of us. Some of us because of our past and memories, some because of the place we find ourselves in the moment, and some because we find ourselves alone in this season where the expectation is large family gatherings and rowdy fun. I'm not asking you to fabricate something that you do not feel. Joy may be too big of an ask for you this year, or it may overwhelm you in quantity or quality. But if we do not look into the darkness, we can never see the light. If we do not open ourselves, we can never regain what was lost. Walking a path of mystery is one way we can regain that childlike wonder and innocence of this season. It is something that must be done with intention. One way we can walk this path is by engaging in ritual and traditions. The Advent season is repeated year after year because in ritual there is the possibility of finding the sacred in something larger than ourselves. And how many of you have your own traditions and rituals between now and the new year? Yeah. Maybe it's a special meal, a song, a story. Maybe it's a special gathering or attending church. But committing to walking the path of mysteries so that we can cultivate that sense of wonder allows those rituals to open ourselves up to the unknown. In this season of waiting, that is Advent, let us move towards wonder so that we might find joy. After all, joy is how we combat despair and cultivate wonder. if we wish, there we go. If we wish to cultivate joy, there is no better model than for us to look at our children. After all, they seem to walk the paths of mystery every day. Do you remember what it was like to pretend that the impossible was possible? That you could fly or have super strength or be invisible? If we're going to begin to walk the path of mystery in this season of waiting, I can think of no better way than to engage in a bit of ritual wonder and myth, and maybe a bit of ridiculousness. So we are going to make reindeer food. Don't worry, squirrels and chipmunks like reindeer food too. And so I invite you to come forward to make some reindeer food for yourself, for your children, for your grandchildren, for your neighbor. If you just go around that side and come up, we have baggies and oatmeal and sprinkles for you to make reindeer food as a way to cultivate your wonder and joy in this season.
name Luna. It's very pretty. Thank you. What a fun activity. Okay. Well, I didn't know, and we definitely need sprinkles. Sprinkles are really good. Yeah. Okay, of course.
Anyone else? Anyone else need to come up and make reindeer food? So on Christmas Eve, after it's dark, you have to go outside and sprinkle some on your grass by your house, so that way that the reindeer will see the moon reflecting off of the sparkles and know exactly where to come and to eat the reindeer food. Whatever your ritual is, may you find wonder and joy in this season. May you find delight in yourself, in your family, in this space with your friends. Please rise as you are willing and able to sing hymn number 226, People Look East.
May
the mystery, the wonder, and the joy in this place in this season. May the tapestry of awe find its place in your homes and hearts in this season of waiting and anticipation. May you find joy. May you find love. Go filled with the excitement of possibility. May it be so.
Please join me in saying the words as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish the light of this chalice, but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry you.